Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yours. Yeah. 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 Memories. Memories. Yeah. Memories. Memories.
out here, you know, you get an insight and you know something, you know, but you don't want to say it out loud because you're kind of afraid that it's not going to be really true and it'll spoil the whole thing for you, you know. But when somebody makes you say it, then, and it's true, then it just makes it more beautiful of a thing.
From esports, trying to find what angle they can, trying to find somebody out of position.
We're gonna go through on this. Oh, what a roll! See White gonna go in.
It's going to be a really, really interesting one.
Oh my god. All of this competition could be so damn close, so I cannot wait for us to finally decide who's going to be the champion. We are expecting some chaos, some great moments.
Beast Mode has killed 3. Only gonna really need that rampage, so it's gonna clear it out. Santi gonna get themselves a big old 4K. Oh. Santi's getting rid of 3, clearing out the house.
That is crazy.
Nunji actually kills 3 people.
This team feels entirely different on this faster composition. Now Cyberport is hanging around, getting onto the high ground. Post bomb's gonna stick under Leaky. They're not gonna be able to survive it at the end of the day. Blue manages to find a 3K.
Rio shoving this Ana into a corner. Woo! One more for the road for Rio.
That is all signs go. Melophobia with 3. Melophobia starting the fight. They'll end the fight. Oh my god. Beagle Bus, they have to play aggressively into this energy. Popping off in a moment where you needed just that. Ruby in that backline. Oh, the flick. Looking for it. Oh my goodness. The 4th one as well. Do they get the ace? They get the ace.
Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to the end of season awards. It's been a long time coming, you know, about 3 months of a CGL season, and I don't know if we've really done one of these award shows in quite a long time, but I want to make sure, you know, everyone got a little bit of their moment here to have this, and yeah, I will be revealing all of the season awards. We're going to go tier by tier, region by region. We'll probably start with, you know, South America and Europe, since their time zones are a little bit ahead of North America. And we'll work our way through North America. Additionally, there are 3 tiers that will not have awards. They just didn't get enough votes. I think we'll rework how the season awards works a little bit for next season to make this a little better. But you know, working with what I got for now. Additionally, so I'll give a little basic breakdown on how this whole thing works. So obviously we had you guys submit your votes for the winners of all these different awards. And the results here, we'll say, is about like 90% of your votes. There's a few minor modifications to some of them. Trying to remove ones that are, you know, obviously troll picks, you know, trying to vote for people that very clearly didn't play the role. So we try to do a little background checking just to make sure. Additionally, for things like role stars, similar to things like Overwatch League, multiple people can be a role star. For things like MVP, etc., we try to make those just a single winner based on your votes. But yeah, and then however this goes, depending how long it takes, I might stick around towards the end if anybody has any questions they would like to ask, or just anything, any feedback about the season as a whole. We're not streaming the stream delay because, you know, it's not a match, it doesn't matter. So I have the ability to interact with chat should things come up. So without further ado, we'll get started with South America. Excuse me. Oh yes, voting is long. I see that in chat. But yeah, voting is long done. It is unfortunately done. You missed your chance to vote. All right, getting started here. Let me pull this up. Apologize if things are a little scuffed. Kind of soloing this one at the moment. All right, we're gonna be starting with, like I said, South America, going our support role stars. So, as many of you know, South America is new to CGL for the season, at least in the main league season. And honestly, it was a resounding success, and we're really happy with how well it went. We can't wait to include more of South America moving forward. And the South American community was really involved in these votes, so we were really happy to see how engaged people were to get these votes going. And because of that, I'm really happy to reveal who our Roll Stars are. And also, I will say, all the names on here will be like your primary username on CGL. So if you're on console, it'll be your gamer tag. If you're on PC, it'll be your Battle.net. So I apologize if I pronounce any names poorly or wrong, because I am very bad at that. If you know me at all, you know I am not good with the names. So your South American support Roll Stars for CGL Season 15 are Vents 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Nothiel. These two were kind of putting in miracles throughout the entire season to keeping their team alive, and they are officially your support Roll Stars for Season 15 South America. Alright. As usual, that's kind of how we're going to work through. We're going to go through support, damage, tank, manager, coach, rookie of the year. Sorry, rookie of the season, because we run multiple seasons per year. And then MVP for each tier. Alright, so we're now going to go to the damage Roll Stars for South America. If you watched any of the Senju stream games, or even some of these grand finals, you will recognize these names. Alright, your damage Roll Stars for South America Season 15 are Stoop 9133425, a lot of numbers, and VTCKO. Or Kaio. Again, apologize if I pronounced anything wrong. These two were doing just absolute work for their team the entire season. Now this next one, so you'll notice a few of these, we usually have, say, top 2 for these. There's a few of these different Roll Stars where it was just impossible to break it up between 2 or 3. So we actually did award 3 in those cases. And the tank for South America was actually one of those situations. So your Roll Stars for tank for South America Season 15. Oop, I almost forgot to put another little and there. Is Timo Luz and Hiator Maui's Kakar. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with these names. So I have typed them out the best I could, though. And these are your tank Roll Stars for Season 15. Thank you, thank you, Yoshi. I appreciate the positive feedback. Yeah, I had to like slightly make myself presentable for this broadcast because I was up a bit late last night playing Overwatch with friends, and waking up I was like, oh no, I actually have to get a little bit ready. Because I'm like, I'm going to be on broadcast, I forgot. But no, I would never forget about you guys. Alright. This next award is not a player award specifically, but it could be done by a player. And that is the best manager. And I will actually do this, because this is a double hitter right here. I will actually say this is the person that's been listed as the best manager and the best coach. So this person is doing everything for their team. And it's Techie Krypton. I mean, as someone who runs things from a return perspective, a good manager, and especially a good coach, is really highly underappreciated. It makes everything with organizing your team scheduling, it makes working with the league so much easier to know, you know, there's a manager that will just get things done you can trust. Because, you know, you guys have seen us around. We sometimes have to talk to, or I mean harass, various different teams to be like, can you get this stuff done? Can you please do this? And, you know, Techie Krypton was always on top of this stuff the entire season, which was very much appreciated. Alright. Now, we're going to transition over to Rookie of the Season. Now, admittedly, Rookie of the Season is an interesting thing. Because, you know, sometimes the question is, what classifies someone as a rookie? And I don't have a great answer for that in all cases. Because sometimes people consider someone to be a rookie if it's their first time to CGL. Usually, like, you know, if someone's played in CGL multiple times, we don't consider them to be a rookie. If, say, like, a pro player would come in, would they consider to be a rookie? I guess they're a rookie to CGL, but not really overall. South America is interesting in that, you know, it is South America's first season being in CGL. So is everyone considered to be a rookie? I'm not sure. The answer to that question, but the community pretty clearly decided on an opinion for who is the rookie of the season for South America. And that is Dud XXS. The community's like, this person very clearly did a lot for their team. They played on Goatees. Yeah. They were playing on Goatees this season. And the community came on line. Rookie of the season. Oh, seems like chat was very much in agreement regarding Techie Krypton being a deserved winner of the last award. I would agree. Now, I know you guys have been waiting this one for a bit, so we're going to transition over to Season MVP for South America. And you have already seen this name once before, actually one of our role stars. You know, makes sense. If you're MVP, probably a role star, one of the categories. And is your season MVP for South America, and also one of your tank role stars, is Timotheus. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm so terrible with names. But this person is your season MVP for South America. They, I mean, what can I say? You don't. One of the best things you could possibly have on your team is a great tank player. If you have an MVP level tank player on your team, your team is destined for greatness. Also, I will say you might recognize their name more by Skies. Skies is their BattleNet name, and they were on Tivacola. And Tivacola had a tremendous performance this season in CGL. And what's it called? Let me pull it up just to double check. I don't want to misspeak. Yeah, they unfortunately did fall in the grand finals, but it was one of the best grand finals we've had in CGL in a long time. It was a map 7 grand finals. And I just want to say thank you, South America, for putting on such an amazing performance this season. It was tremendous working with you, and I can't wait to see more of you guys in upcoming events. And now South America is done. We're gonna move on to a little bit of a different part of the world. Excuse me. We're gonna move on to Europe. We're gonna start with EUGM. Let me pull up Europe. And we'll start with the support role star there. Okay. Yeah, Yoshi, if I say it with enough confidence. Okay, look, Mandy, ready, please. Some people would say I'm a native English speaker. Many people would also disagree with that. Okay, like I said, moving on to support role stars for EUGM. So actually, we do only have one support role star. The community was pretty clear on who they wanted their role star to be for support. And it is Red Veil. Red Veil is your support role star for Europe GM, also known as Ascend, is their BattleNet. They were on Falcons of Paul this season, and well, Falcons of Paul didn't make it the entire way. They did have an overall pretty good performance this season. Congratulations to Ascend for your support role star for UGM. Alright, moving on to damage role stars for UGM. And this one we have 2 for. Kuno is pretty clear that these 2 were the best damage players there were in the season. And I think if you've played in this tier, or even if you haven't played in this tier, if you just watch any of the broadcasts, you will probably know these people's names, because I know them just at a glance without it would be Fifi and Ravenge are your damage roll stars for EUGM. I'm gonna turn myself down a little because I think I'm peeking a bit. Yeah, Fifi and, and Ravenge are your damage roll stars for the season. With Fifi being on, just want to make sure I get the name right. Oh yeah, they were on Silva Lovers, I believe. Wait, no, that's an NA team. Oh, wait, they're on NA as well. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I was getting myself confused for a second there. Yeah, yeah, okay, cool. And then Ravenge being on USC Ethos. Yeah, yeah. Wonderful. I might have just butchered that one, I'll be honest with you. But they are your damage roll stars for the season. Kinda. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Lots of booms in the chat. Pickle asking, where's the C9 one of the year? Honestly, that might be have to be an award we bring for next season. I wouldn't necessarily be EMC. I apologize, Fifi. I was reading my own website and somehow still failed. I don't know what that says about the usability of my own site, but sometimes there's positives and negatives, because like if you look at the team history of somebody on their profile, it will list off when they joined and left teams, but we specifically have it set so the team name that shows in that list is the team name at the time you joined the team, instead of what your team name is currently. Just so that, like, you know, historically it makes sense when looking at it. But we could probably use another section that shows what your active teams are. That would probably be a smart idea on my part. I'm sure Fish will yell at me later to do that. Alright, moving on to tank roll stars for UGM. So this is another one of the ones actually where we have 3 for. The community could not decide on all of this, so let me make sure I type all this out. Okay, this is like 50% spelled right, I think. Alright, so your tank roll stars for Europe UGM is Alexander Hunter Jones, Yo-Yo Cheerio, and Connor. And Alex Hunter Jones is battle tag is Kill a Hog, which you probably more likely know them by. I think Connor's battle tag is exactly the same, if I remember correctly. Right? Yeah, yeah. Fifi all down for the Connor. We're getting plenty of booms in the chat. Yeah, Synarchy, you mentioned about cast awards next season. It's always interesting with cast awards because, like, we generally have heard some feedback in a positive or negative direction, whether like that is a good thing from like the casters. And it's like, it's one of the things where it's not necessarily like a competition like the league is of who's a caster or whatever. So it's questionable whether we want to do that or not. We'll have to see. Maybe. I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to doing some like staff recognition awards to make, you know, give people some of the recognition they deserve, though. And I do see an ad is going on for a minute and a half here, so might ramble a little bit to give it some time so that finishes. But I'll set up for, yeah, manager now. We got best manager next. Best manager. Oh, can't type. Alright. So we actually have 2 for this one for best manager. And it's one of the names is a name you've already seen before for one of your damage roll stars. And we will also have Seraphim for this as well. So Ravenge and Seraphim are your best managers of the tier. What's it called? One's on Bliss. I'm sorry, Ravenge again, if you don't know, is Ascend. You might have seen them by that name more likely. And yes, you might be wondering, yes, Fish did have some input in tiebreakers Because there's certain things we had to do tiebreakers for things, and Fish did have slight input on some of the best manager ones of who were the easiest to work with scheduling, reporting scores, etc. So yes, reporting your scores on time does have impact on the results. I see the question from Tissue Baker. Are there awards for Open League? So actually, the only open tier that had awards this season is South America, because they're the only ones that had enough votes to do it. Nobody really voted in North America and Europe's open tier, unfortunately. So, like, there's like 1 or 2 votes max, which is not really enough to do a real sample size of like what people think. I think we're gonna rework it a little bit next season to be a little more like teams nominate some people, and then we do some voting based on that kind of thing, and do some ranked choice type voting instead of just being one vote per person kind of thing, which I think will help fix up a number of those issues. But unfortunately for this one, we don't currently have anything for NA or EU open tier. Alright, moving on. Close on my tabs. Might have a few too many open. Alright. So, there is actually no best coach for UGM. There just wasn't anything that made sense. Which is actually kind of wild, but it is what it is. So, we'll move on to Rookie of the Season. For UGM. Alright, there was 2 people that came listed under Rookie of the Season. Oopsies. Copy and pasted incorrectly. And that is, well, actually, one of the names you just saw. It's Protagonist and Seraphim. So Protagonist, also known as Monarch, is their battle tag on EMC. And Seraph, we just heard the name over there on one of the best managers. Yeah, Fifi, all the Smurfs in chat. We got some Smurf fans here. I'll admit, there was part of me when reading this name initially, be like, surely this person's not Smurfing, right? But we've had people play with the name Smurf before in CGL. Jail setup. Tell me more about this jail setup. I need to know. Alright, we're going to move on to your season MVP for UGM. And this is a name you've actually already heard again. And in fact, they've actually been quite active in this chat. Your season MVP is Fifi. Congratulations. I mean, it was actually very clear that from the votes that you would be the MVP. I mean, I've watched you play, and it was pretty obvious then. Don't question it, Fifi. Okay, fair enough. Fifi is your UGM MVP. Get this thing framed. Put it on the wall. I know. Fifi shouting out Fifi in chat. Fair enough. But no, you were tremendous this season. I can't wait to see you play more. Alright, we're going to move now on to EU Masters. Starting with Support Rollstar. Masters. Support. Oh, that starts, not stars. Can't spell. Support roll starts. Alright. Moving on to EU Masters, like I said. I'll make sure I don't select the wrong one. Oh yeah. So this is actually another one of the ones where we only had one roll star for. It was very clear, and that is Kados or Kadios? Yes, that is your support roll star for EU Masters. On what's it called? Yes. In fact, oh, I was about to try to shout out what team you're on, then I realized I broke my own site, I think, when I merged an account from yours earlier. It doesn't have the team history on it. Like justice for Bagel. Fair enough. All right, we're gonna move on to your damage roll stars, and that's actually another one that was just solo, so clear. And that is Solar Patch 25, also known as Solar. Playing on, I believe, Dream Eaters, right? Yeah, Dream Eaters this season. And Dream Eaters had a tremendous performance throughout this season. Making it all the way to the Grand Finals, and in fact, winning that Grand Finals in overall fairly dominant fashion, 4-1. Yeah, I see you guys asking about LeWood. Admittedly, a partial reason why we had to make sure we were properly looking at what people did when I'm going through the people votes. But don't worry, you'll see them eventually. You will see them eventually. Don't worry. There's a little sneak peek there. Moving on to Tank Roll Star. I mean, this one, if you've seen their name around, or if you just have watched any of CGL season, I think this one should not come as too much of a surprise. Your Tank Roll Star for Season 15 EU Masters is Chinese Dino. You're an absolute demon on the tank throughout the season. Another Dream Eaters player. So swap it, at least give him the DPS Roll Star and MVP. No, Chinese Dino. Hey, Chinese Dino, I see you in chat. Congratulations on your Tank Roll Star. No, it's definitely deserved. Even Edgar agreed. Edgar approved. Alright, now we're gonna move on to Best Manager. For you Masters. And we actually have 2 people for this one. Yeah, both you guys did such an excellent job. We wanted to make sure you're both recognized. And oh, I forgot to put the "and" there, but we'll take it. Boom. Ignore the weird capitalization. Oh, whatever. It doesn't. It auto capitalizes here. And it's Wimiro and Kadeus. I mean, you guys both did so much this season. Thank you for being excellent managers again. From a league standpoint, we really, really appreciate excellent managers, and I'm sure your teams do as well. Every time we see that a manager is entering like a team in the CGL that we know is a good manager, like we're always just really happy to see that. Like I at this point I couldn't care who's on the team at the point if I see that a specific manager I like is entering a team, because I know it's going to work out well. And speaking of our friend here, why don't we just swap right over to Best Coach? And guess what? A very familiar name. We just saw their name. Is Wymiro? Mymiro. I'm so bad with names, man. What the chunk? Why are you surprised that you won? Or are you saying what the chunk is about how I'm pronouncing your name? If so, I apologize. Hawks and Boxing, we have not gotten to NA Masters yet. We're working our way there. We're going through EU first before we get to NA. Just since, you know, it's a little later there already. Alright, moving on to Rookie of the Season for you Masters. So, some of you might have recognized his name. You guys have been calling him out in the chat. It is LeWood. Is our Rookie of the Season. I'm 46 years old. I'll feed my kids with this award. Thank you. You're welcome. It's just I made it just for you. LeWood is your Rookie of the Season. I expect to see all of the chat be there in support of your friend. And On a similar note, they're also considered to be your season MVP. Lowood. I'm sure they appreciate all of the support. We might have to rename a award after Lowood next season with all the support he's getting. Yeah. If there were people voting, thing would have had their awards. I think Lowood would have gotten almost every award. All right, we're gonna move on to EU Diamond now. With your support, Roll Stars. Okay, actually, funny enough on this one, there was okay, I take it back. We're gonna go to damage because I forgot this one specifically. There was like not votes for that were like actual support players. So I take it back. We're gonna go to damage. The rookie award named Lowood Award. You know, I could get behind that. All right, we got 2 damage roll stars here for you, Diamond. Some of these names I suspect you'll immediately recognize, and that is Yoshi and Lemon Sauce. Congratulations. Lemon Sauce's battle tag is just Lemon Sauce. Lemon Sauce being on Kira, and Yoshi being on I believe EMC Professional, right? Yes. No, EU Diamond was an absolute insane season. Kira was on a run this entire regular season, just dropping essentially no maps almost throughout the entire season. And EMC Professional really bringing it together towards the end, and just taking to an insane map 7 and clutching out on that victory for the season. Congratulations to Yoshi and Lemon Sauce on your damage roll stars this season. Alright, moving on to your tank roll stars for you, Diamond. Alright, these are also some names you should recognize pretty much immediately. Your tank roll stars for you, Diamond, are How to Draw and N3J. I mean, it makes pretty good sense to me why these two are your tank roll stars. Both these players ended up in what's it called? Ended up in the grand finals and just were battling down to the very end. If you watch that grand finals, which was insane by the way, and you should, VODs on CGL YouTube. The last final fight pretty much came down to a battle between these two, primaling on the point. It was actually insane. Both massively deserved from both these two. Ghost, NA did not happen yet. We're almost there. We're working our last way through our last EU one. Alright. Moving on to Best Manager for EU Diamond. And, I mean, this one shouldn't come as a surprise to too many people. And that is Shady. Excuse me. Also known as Kira Wolf. It was very conclusive in the voting that Kira Wolf would get this this award. They were excellent to work with the entire season, and we were really happy to have them. And I'm sure the teams were too. Alright. Moving on to Best Coach for you, Diamond. Just make sure I spell this correctly. All right, best coach for EU Diamond this season was Valas. I mean, what's what's not to say? They were coach on the team that was by far the most dominant throughout the entire season, and despite their team not being able to clutch it out in the end, it was about to the bitter end. Their team dropped almost no maps throughout multiple meta changes and new hero releases. I mean, nearly absolute perfection from them and their team. And your best coach is Valas. Alright, moving on to Rookie of the Season. That is... I don't think this one should be on our side. Yoshi. Yoshi was, I mean, like I said, an absolute wonderful player this season on the DPS. I mean, it's why they were one of your DPS role stars throughout this entire season. In fact, they were considered to be so good this season that not only were they Rookie this season, they were your DPS role star, and also, I'm happy to say, they were also your MVP. I mean, the tier was fairly close. In many of these tiers, we had the tie break, multiple things, and this one, not at all. So congratulations, Yoshi, on MVP, Rookie this season, and also Damage Role Star. All right, I'm gonna move on to NA now. Hope to see all of you in South America and Europe back for next season. I was really happy we were able to run so many tiers of Europe this season. We don't always get to run as many of those tiers as we do, but it was wonderful that we were able to run Diamond, Masters, GM, and Open for Europe. I can't wait to keep doing that. All right, let's move on to North America, starting with NA Masters. We're starting with support role stars. Alright. Here we go. Alright. Your support role stars this season, as voted on by your peers and slightly adjusted. Masters honestly had a really good season overall. There was so much crazy competition towards the end. I would say it was one of our most competitive playoff brackets we had. And it was really cool to see all these... The teams were a little bit back and forth throughout the regular season, but when it came to the playoff bracket, the teams were actually insane. Your support role stars for NA Masters is Big Brain and Pizza Bagel. Big Brain being on Celestial Knights, and Pizza Bagel... I just remember absolutely dominating some of the games. They were on Silvok Lovers. Both these players did absolute wonders throughout the season. High quality client of the season? Okay. Sure. So, wait, hold on. Ready player mandate. So, do I get yes or no, get the award for being passed around like a blonde for being on 2 different teams in the NA Diamond season? Well, I don't know if we have awards specifically for that, but we can give that to you, sure. Voxy, have faith. Alright, moving on to your damage roll stars. Yeah, we had to do a little massaging of these awards a little bit because, admittedly, some of you might have meme voted me for nearly every single award. And while I have a slight bit of an ego, I don't have that much of an ego to give myself every single award. Moving on to, oh yeah, damage roll stars. So your damage roll stars this season are Moonlights and Annex. Moonlights on another Celestial Knights player, actually. Doing a ton of work throughout the season. And Annex as well. Actually, I forgot they're both on Celestial Knights. No, these players were doing really good the entire season, and honestly, like they fought through a large bit of adversity and just put in so much work. It was really evident and showed with what happened. The news about SOS. What's the news? Leak the SOS information. I want to know. I'm slightly nosy. Alright, moving on to the tank roll stars. There was a lot of really good tanks this season in CGL NA Masters. And this one that was actually a fairly close competition between a number of the tanks. But two ended up claiming the roll star victory. And that is Lil Lucio, and they call me M. They call me M on the Winston, honestly just putting in work throughout the entire season. I know memed on a little bit by the team for being a quote-unquote Winston one trick, but as someone who played into this Winston, it was a problem for me. It was a bit of an issue. You were doing excellent the entire season. Lil Lucio taking your fellowship team on a good bit of a run, honestly. Back when people didn't think fellowship was super good, but your team really came out and started taking it to these top teams. And a large part of that was your performance. Your team disbanded? Is it disbanding as in like you guys are no longer together, or is it just you change your name? Alright, moving on to best manager. Alright. Your best manager, as voted on by your peers and a few minor revocations, is high quality. Yeah, I mean, this is one of those things where, again, consistently being able to schedule right, especially during those times in which playoffs, I'm going to hit snooze on this ad real quick. During the playoffs when there's a lot of things going on, a lot of moving pieces, and also consistently reporting your scores, is very much appreciated. So thank you, high quality, for being a good manager this season. Oh shoot, well, I am sorry to hear that SOS is disbanding, and that you have retired, some of your players have retired. But we'll see. You know, Overwatch, retirement in Overwatch is a bit questionable. I mean, part of me wants to say, see you guys in 2 months. But either way, it was great to see SOS performance this season. It was astounding. Alright, moving on to best coach in NA Masters. And this one was actually pretty unanimous throughout the votes. Your best coach for NA Masters is Rista Fanes. Congratulations on your best coach award. They were on another person with Silvok Lovers, and I mean Silvok was pretty good through a good bit of the season, and their playoffs, they actually made it fairly far. And in some cases, I would say further than some people thought they were going to make it. Just because the competition at the top level of this tier was so strong. Congratulations on your best coach. I appreciate the vote of confidence, M, for best coach, but our team, again, was a for fun team. We never scrimmed. We never learned anything. Alright, moving on to Rookie of the Season. This one we had to look around a little bit to make sure people were properly looking for rookies, at least for CGL standpoint. And your Rookie of the Season for NA Masters is Dragonor. Definitely one of those players I've seen around in the stage. I mean, another SOS player. And that's the way, especially with how dominant they were throughout the season. I mean, what can you say? Unfortunately, Hoxbox, I'm pretty sure you don't count as a rookie. You've definitely been around for a while. I'm like 90% convinced. Let me look. I'll put up your profile. Yeah, it says 6 teams. You've been on so many teams. I'm actually trying to sneak in to pretend to be a rookie. What do you mean you talked about this? Explain this to me. I have multiple forms of memory loss. Shoot, are you right? I do think I remember doing that, and I don't remember why, to be honest. Alright, moving on to MVP for the NA Masters tier. I don't think this one should really come as too much of a surprise. They were also one of your tank role stars. Your season 15 NA Masters MVPs, they call me M. I mean, like I said, I said this earlier, a strong tank player can really do so much for your team, and a really good Winston player is an underrated thing to have. And they call me M as your NA Masters MVP. Psycho just got the NA Diamond. I have good news for you. We're about to get there. Alright, moving on to NA Diamond now. I know some of you have been waiting for this for a while, and I might have purposely done that just to make sure to retain viewership numbers. But we won't talk about that. Support role stars. Okay, so we're going to start with support role stars NA Diamond. And Diamond was actually overall pretty good for a number of votes we had, which made it fairly easy to come up with our support role stars for all our various awards for Diamond, which was very much appreciated. Thank you, Diamond tier. And both these names you should be pretty familiar with. Your support role stars for NA Diamond are Conk and Rescope. Congratulations. I mean, both you have done so much for your team over the season. Reese also just helping run Lunar too. Conk playing playing so well as well. As you can tell, I'm not very good with my words, but we really appreciate you guys being around the season, and I mean your performance really showed. Alright, moving on to your damage role stars for NA Diamond. Again, look, I see something about Xerneas. Xerneas was absolutely excellent this season. This is based primarily on your guys' votes. Alright, this one for damage, we have, what's it called? We have 3. This one was actually kind of hard to do properly. And one of these people, I will say, one of these people in this one was also somewhat a bit in the running for another role as well, but we try to get people to like be more isolated in what role they are when it comes to votes. So we ended up putting them more towards what they played for majority of the time, rather than maybe what they might have been known for a little bit in playoffs. Excuse me. Okay. So your damage role stars for this season of NA Diamond is load. Here we go. Hollander, Andoryu, and Pickle. I mean Hollander. I mean, honestly just destroyed the entire season. They absolutely did so much work, and Andoryu constantly impressed me, especially watching them play things like Cassidy. Of how much they would take it to the top teams. And Pickle, you might know Pickle mainly for the C9 memes, but Pickle also played a lot of DPS this season. Yes, Anarchy, I don't know, just wasn't. Alright, bringing ourselves onto the tank role stars. All right, both these names, I think all of you will be familiar with. Whenever I learn how to spell words. Okay, there we go. Your tank role stars for the season is Cloud Lemon and Fatal Turtle. Like I've been talking about it throughout the entire awards thing. Having an excellent tank does so much for your team, and having a good tank on Lunar and a great tank on Death Blossom as well. I know things have swapped around a little bit. Who was playing tank at different times for the team, but I mean you were there when it counted. Yes, Pickle. I know you played rank tank in the regular season, but I was informed it was not. It was not like two. It was like a game or two. Okay, Psycho. Psycho, you gotta get people to vote for you. This is a combination of, admittedly, combination of like what's it called? It's a combination of both popularity and also your performance, and also if you advocate for yourself. Yeah, but Pickle close enough. I will also Synarchy. We haven't even gotten to best coach yet. All right, moving on to best manager. All right. Oh yeah. Your best manager. I mean, this was a pretty good one. Kirwolf is the best manager for your Diamond tier NA. On VGSU, I mean, all my interactions with them are absolutely pleasant. Like I said, an excellent manager is wonderful to have. All right, moving on to best manager. Sorry, best coach. Best coach for NA Diamond is Ramtech. We've seen them around for quite a while now, and they brought their expertise back to coaching this season. And I mean, it showed. Your teams did good, and no, you were absolutely excellent this season, Ramtech. Oh, okay, so you guys didn't sign people. I see, that makes sense. Yeah. No, I mean, if somebody wasn't signed, like, to your team as, like, that role, they probably would not have been voted for that. Otherwise, it's like, you know, how can you say someone did something like that, kind of thing. Made us say a prayer before each match. That's the kind of coaching I like to see. The religious coaching. I think it's just called a pastor, actually. Alright. We got, Rookie of the Season coming up next for NA Diamond. And I think you guys will recognize this name. Just, you know, just a thought. Your Rookie of the Season is Barbecue Chicken 124 on BGSU. This one was a pretty clear vote from a good number of people. Shots landed. My master's degree means nothing. Congratulations to Arky Chicken for your standout new season. No, Rarits. I checked this one. I'm pretty sure I checked this one, like, and that, like, they didn't actually play or something like that. Alright, moving on to Season MVP. Alright, this person, I mean, you've already seen them before on another one of our awards, and it just makes sense that they get this one too. Your Season MVP for NA Diamond is Hollander. I mean, like we said, him and their DPS duo did so much work this season for Solar, and it paid off in the end. They went on an absolute rampage. just every single fight, just somehow getting a pick. It was actually incredibly impressive, bringing their team to a 3rd championship in a short period of time. And while it is a team game, what can you do without one of your DPS just popping up in the end? Ended up with the grand finals, ended up being a 4-0, and a large portion of that was due to Hollander. Congratulations, Hollander, on your season MVP. Recount. No. Alright, and that is all of your awards for season 15. Thank you so much for joining us this season. It was wonderful to have all of you here. I thought it was such a good season. I mean, through all the tiers, so many, you know, with just how balanced a number of the teams were across Diamond, Masters, and a number of the other tiers. This is some of the most competitive playoffs we've had in a very long time, and I was really happy. I was getting super invested in tiers that weren't my own, honestly, watching these playoffs. Congratulations to all of these teams. It was wonderful to have you. We hope to have you back next season. It's supposed to start, sometimes we'll be open in August, season start, end of August, beginning of September-ish time frame. But we have a stacked lineup of things for the off season. We have another community event coming up in June. We'll have a stadium tournament whenever that releases in custom games, the start of next Overwatch season. We'll have another Goats tournament. We'll probably have Lucio Ball. We have a lot coming up. Definitely keep an eye on our announcements channel for the next events to come up with, and we hope to see all of you back. And I mean, I do have a little extra time here. If anyone does have interest in it, we can shift over to a bit of Q&A slash just any questions or feedback anyone wants to provide. So I'll put this season Q&A slash feedback. Should anyone want to provide any, or just want to ask questions. Consider me to be mostly an open book. Anyone have anything they want to ask or talk about? Roberts, what are you going on about? What if Pickle played half the season on Tank and was tied for Tank for All-Star? Are you asking, like, what, like, if you should have gotten, like, a Tank for All-Star as well, is what you're asking? Free your hands, Roberts. You know what? We'll do a I'm not gonna say this is a binding poll, but we'll put a poll here up in chat. Should Revert's hands be freed? Here, we got a minute poll going up. Oh, we're currently at 50-50 on this poll here. This is maybe why we don't quite operate on a community vote type system sometimes for our league decisions. The people paid now said no, we're paid. Paid by who? Big hand cam, maybe? The big hand cam industry? But yeah, I mean, if there's no overall questions, the Pickle, to answer your quick question, when it comes to things like tiebreakers and stuff, we try to like lean on, specifically for the whole thing of like multiple, we try to like just put somebody into a single role for the role stars instead of multiple. We put you specifically into DPS because we were talking with like your team and stuff about of who you actually like. What was your primary role this season? Oh, but it looks like Twitch chat has confirmed no, Reverse hands should not be freed. And even Ascends or Psycho is saying his hands should not be freed. Unfortunately, though, the no heads went out. Yeah, we want to try to have like a generally accurate representation. It is admittedly a little hard on the flex ones. We try to like pick an area for someone to be. Any other questions slash it could be about the season, it could be about what's upcoming, it could be like why is something the way it is, etc. OKC fan, yeah, we did talk about it a little bit earlier, but yes, there's a different way I would like to do season awards. I suspect what will probably lean a little more into next season is something kind of like more like a nomination thing, where each team nominates like, say, like a person or two for an award. And then we do voting based more on that. And also the goal is for next season to have better information on who played what role. I suspect by the time next season starts, teams will have to be selecting what their roster is on the site for each map. So we'll have exact information on who played what role on what map. Which allows us to better properly restrict who's being voted for. Because, like, admittedly, some things made this took a little while for putting together who the award winners was, with a bunch of tiebreakers and trying to eliminate some of the meme votes. Because there was a lot of meme votes people put in some of the various tiers, which made it kind of difficult to like properly figure out and give people the credit they deserve. By having teams properly nominate people for roles, and while also having the role information of who did what, it should make it a bit easier to get more accurate votes. When's next season start? Next season's we're aiming to start towards the end of August / beginning of September. A most viewed match award or best match or something? Yeah, it's kind of hard. Some of those things would have to be either, I guess that would be in like a non-tiered role, or sorry, non-tiered award maybe. I don't know. Would have to figure that one out. If when are appeals for bans? I mean, are you asking when you can submit appeal? You can submit an appeal whenever you want. When we'll review them, I don't know exactly. It will definitely be before the next major event, so probably would be before, I don't know, maybe before the GOATS tournament is probably when we'll do it, is my guess. That's considered to be like a major event. We kind of just, the way we always make sure we do it before a major event signups end, and then we kind of just like talk together, be like, can you guys do it, hand? And we sit down and just do it. Our band's next season is just going to be how it is in game. What we'll probably do is we'll probably mirror whatever OWCS is at the time. And right now OWCS doesn't seem like it's changing, at least for the current season. Additionally, the band system they use in game isn't available in custom games. But we'll see. I don't think it makes a ton of sense personally to do it the way like the comp version does it. Because the comp version is very specific in that, like, you know, this is what's happening in a single match. Whereas a league thing is like, you know, a tournament match is like a series of maps. So I don't think the system one-to-one really makes sense. But again, if WCS kind of goes that direction, I suspect we'll probably do something similar. But for now, I don't expect it on changing. Is there any way to change my name on the website from Psycho to Xerneas? I have tried, but it just overrides. Is this your... What name are you referring to on the site? Let me look. Which name are you referring to? Because I'm looking at your account on the site, and I see your battle tag listed as Xerneas. Are you talking about your gamer tag? Even your Discord name shows up as Xerneas. Basira, I already answered your question. Did you miss my answer? Oh, so you're telling me to change your gamertag name? How about Xerneas, how about you just DM me on Discord and we can try to figure out what you're referring to. Okay, Desir, essentially what I said, we'll probably review it before the next major event, which will probably end up being GOATS. I don't have an exact date, though. That was the TLDR. Any other questions or things people want to talk about? I suspect we have a number of things that in the works for the off season. We're trying to make things a lot better for. We're trying to make things a lot easier for next season in terms of running your matches, putting your opponents together. If things work out, I can't reveal all information. If things work out, we might have stats for matches available immediately after the match is done. You might not have to do as much score reporting. It might just be more automated. Still might have to submit replay codes, but the rest might just happen. We'll see though. We'll have to see how this works. If there's anything you want to see us do, any changes you want us to make, you know, you can tell me here. You can put it in the suggestions channel. We do regularly read everything people put in the suggestions channel. You know, we don't always respond. Yeah, if there's also a kind of fun event you want to see us do, I think we do have a spot reserved in the off season for a like some kind of fun arcadey type event. So an example type event that could fill that kind of spot is like when we did the Valentine's Day tournament previously this year. We have a spot reserved for some kind of event in a similar style, like as in a similar scale. Just any suggestions for what you want to see, let us know. We already do have a stadium event planned to happen. We already have Lucy Ball planned. We have goats planned. It is an off season, but it's a fairly busy off season. But yeah, last call for questions. Otherwise, I'm gonna call it. I'll give you guys another minute or so. Is there gonna continue to be any platform, PC, or console, or will they be separate like in prior seasons? We don't currently have any plans to forcibly separate it. We've had overall a good bit of success with things being hybrid. People tend to like it overall. In that they can just play with anyone they want on any platform they want. There are some pros and cons to being separated. I'm not gonna say everything's a positive with being combined. But the overall sentiment from people, we have a large amount of teams that are hybrid in CGL. Is there more games over the summer? We have a large amount of tournaments running in the summer. We have a Kunoichi event running in June for our marginalized gender audience under Kunoichi. We have a stadium tournament happening pretty shortly after it releases in the custom games for Overwatch Season 17. We have a Lucy Ball tournament happening. We have a Goats tournament happening. And then the new season will happen after that. And also I think we have, again, a small spot reserved for some other fun arcadey style event. So we'll have plenty of events for you to play in over the summer. Again, it's a break from the season, but not a break from Overwatch or things that under that. We'll make sure you have plenty of stuff to play in. We just need a little bit of time to breathe and decompress a bit. It's while we do really like running these seasons, it is admittedly a bit of sigh of relief once it's over, as we get to take a break, a little bit of a breather for a little bit, and then we go back to work again. But the break's good. A season, unlike a tournament, a season's a bit of a marathon. Any other final questions? Oh, Reese just showing up to brag about our support role star. Chat, should we retroactively take that away? Just due to ego, is that what we should do? Reese, I heard Xerneas would really love it.
And it's true. Then it just makes it more beautiful of a thing.
Alright, doesn't seem like there's any more questions, so I think we'll call it there. Thank you everyone for joining me this season. And I can't wait to see you in the next events. It's been a fun time. I think it's one of the best seasons we've had in competitive thing in a while. And I'm looking forward to the next coming season with everyone. Don't be a stranger. See ya.